Say hey everyone, welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me is my guy, Big Ragu, aka Big Ragu 62. It's been a minute, Ragu. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. Just all busied up. I know you had some celebratory
Yep.
day, a good day yesterday here with the horses and watching some fights and everything. But I'm doing well, man. Just staying busy as all get out, and happy to be here with you today, my friend.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. This is going to be a different show. I'll tell you guys that right now because no graphics. I'll tell you guys that no graphics today because it was a long night. But I will keep you guys up to date with the games we're on. Also, might be a quicker show because I literally have 3 plays written down. Ragu, this card. I don't know what it is. It's just all the games on the card just not really appealing to me. I'll be honest. But we've been hot recently, Ragu. Thankfully, only we everyone knows the story of this season. I was down 30 some units beginning of the year, et cetera, et cetera. We've been climbing out of it. Last 2 weeks have been just great. We're only down 8.55 units now on the year, 186 and 193, 34 pushes. So it'll be a lot of fun. But we need to shout out our guy first and foremost, Real Deal Prime. Shout out to Real Deal Prime, who, Bigger, you probably didn't see this. He bet our friendship, bet mine and his friendship on a player prop yesterday, under 6.5 strikeouts for Tristan McKenzie. I tailed him. He said if his cashes, we'll not be friends anymore, et cetera, et cetera. And it's 5 strikeouts on the nose. Cashes it, no fucking problem. So shout out to my guy, Real Deal Prime, for that
Good
big
deal.
time call
Good deal by
yesterday.
real deal. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that was awesome. That was awesome. A great casher there as well. I doubled up on it too, so it's very nice. Shout out to you, Real Deal. Appreciate you, my man. But let's get into it, Ragu, because it's gonna be an interesting show. Might be a shorter show because I'm not gonna have much to say about these games,
Yeah, that's fine.
but it'll be a good
We'll
nonetheless.
find some spots.
Yeah, I agree there. Diamondbacks Tigers to start off our card here, Ragu, and we've got Joey Wentz. Actually, no, we don't even have Joey Wentz. They have a little pitcher change here as
Oh
well.
no.
Will Vest.
Oh
Will
shit.
Vest now making his start here versus Zach Gallen. I mean, honestly, it really doesn't matter to me which pitcher they're throwing out here.
Yeah.
It's a bullpen day for the Tigers, it seems. Maybe I'm going to refresh RotoWire right here. They still have Joey Wentz as the primary, so perhaps just an opener situation for him. But still, really just nothing to do here with this game. You've got the Arizona Diamondbacks, minus 240, plus
Yeah.
195 for the Tigers. 8.5 is your total. Money wise here, I mentioned this, and the money in the market's definitely been helping me as of last couple of weeks. So shout out to that. Just ridiculous splits here, money wise. 95% of the bets, 87% of the money on the Diamondbacks here. Just ultimate easy stay off game for me. I will say there has been some success with the early game unders here, like those Peacock game unders. Maybe these guys just get a little bit off routine, et cetera, et cetera. They're just not hitting well in the early morning. But it seems like everyone's betting the under here, or to say bigger bets are on the under.
Yeah. I had a different look here. I just a little pricey. The Diamondback success. They've had some great numbers at home. On the road, they've been winning some games on the road too. So they continue to do well here. But this is a game where I don't want, even though as bad as Detroit's numbers have been, but they're not bad. Like they're like middle numbers versus lefties and righties. So they're better in Chicago, in my book, when it comes to hitting. But they have had some success. I mean, Gallen's numbers, if they've been a little bit off, have been on the road. I think he's like 1-2 away, with a 5.4 ERA. And I was kind of banking on Wentz to give up a bunch of runs here too, also. So I actually had an overlook, but that's probably why the market's probably moved the other way. I capped it for Wentz here, but I was looking at an over with Wentz here, maybe eight runs. I think Detroit can to get the Gallen a little bit, put up 3 or 4 runs, possibly, full game. And then I know that that the D-backs were going to hit the ball too a little bit here too, but I'm going to be off of this with the pitcher change. But I capped it for Wentz totally, so I'm off.
Yeah, 70% of the money, 70% of the tickets, and only 58% of the money on the under in this game. So it definitely does make me like the over a little bit, but I ultimately pass as well. And by the way, shout out to Charlie Richards in here mentioning you and Dommy Gum dominated yesterday.
Yeah, we had a good day, Dami and I, on the Light It Up. So shout out to my boy Dami.
Yeah, shout out to Dami as well. Who banging zone there. So appreciate my guy Dami as always. Good supporter of the show. Great guy as well. Let's move on here. Let's move on to game 2 of our slate here. Guardians, Astros, a good series. A series that admittedly, I cashed on Guardians money line the other day in the 14-inning crazy game. And my only loss yesterday was on the under 8. The Astros score the garbage time last inning run to go over there. But I will admit, Ryu, this series has been interesting to me. Yordan Alvarez has made the Astros kind of vulnerable here. And I don't know. It's just a questionable spot for me. Shane Bieber and versus Brandon Bielak on the bump, obviously. You'd think, off the face, this is a Bieber spot here to bet them. But I don't know. You see, everyone's seen the trade deadline rumors about Shane Bieber already, and we all know that he's not the pitcher that he once was when he was throwing his Cy Youngs and all that stuff. So it's just a diminished Shane Bieber that I don't want to really back at any points this year so far. Tickets and money wise, and I saw someone asking Rodney. I'm using the Action Network Plus or whatever it is. I got a subscription to that, so. I'm using that and referencing those numbers. It's been very helpful, actually, since I've got it. And actually pretty worth it. 64% of the money and 77% of the backwards. 64% of the tickets and 77% of the money on the Astros here. So everyone likes the Astros, and the line has gone towards the Astros seemingly as well. So it makes sense to me. I'd be on the Astros free bet, but I've got nothing on this game here. But what do you think here, Rigu?
Yeah, I think Bieber's numbers are better at home, obviously, than they are on the road. And his numbers, it's a day game, and which he hasn't. He seems to be his splits show that he's a better night pitcher than he is a day pitcher also. So that might have something to play into it. And Houston, they did break their slump out, with the win on Saturday. So yeah, I would tend to agree with the market here a little bit. I mean, I had a lean for the first 5 with the Astros, that was a lean of mine, but I didn't get to the window in it. And then I was kind of looking at Bieber's home starts, but I just think this spot here is leaning towards the Astros also for me too. But I didn't get to the window with this one, so I'm off of this one currently. But I do lean Astros first 5 money line.
I hate going back to a bet that I lost yesterday, but the under again here just seems live to me. Astros lineup right now, this is going to be one of the worst Astros lineups.
Yeah, they're peacemaker. I mean, the injury bug is betting them in the worst way, all the way up and down. I know they lost their big. Who was it that went out yesterday?
Yordan.
Yeah. And then the Brewers had a decent game, but they've always seemed to step up in these spots. So where they kind of picked up the pieces, and especially with the pitching,
I trust their pitching for sure. Brandon Bielak has been great.
But under makes sense too with all the pieces missing. They're missing a bunch. So it makes sense.
Let's talk about Bielak real quick. 6 2/3, 10 hits, 3 earned runs last time at Toronto. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run versus Minnesota. Pitched okay against Milwaukee. 6 2/3, 4 earned runs too. So it's been just pretty good all year. So I think I might move on this under here today. BJ, no graphics today, unfortunately. I'm a tired lad after drinking last night, if I'm being honest. So no graphics today, unfortunately. But I like the under here, and it's under 8 at even money here again, and it feels like I'm just walking right into the same trap as last night or whatever. It wasn't even a trap, but listen to these ticket splits here. We go. 69% of the tickets and 85% of the bets on the over here. And it's going up here. And the line is allegedly, according to Action, it opened at 8 and has dropped to 8.5. I don't know if I trust them. I don't know if I trust them at all. But I have seen 8s here. We're good. Did you see this go up to 8.5 at any point, or was it 8.5?
I believe so. Let me check my back work here. Hang on a sec. As far as so you're not afraid the market moves, obviously. So
Oh, I would. I'm a little worried if it goes if it's 8.5, or if it was an 8.5 and it dropped down to 8, I probably would bet it. But if
yeah,
it, well, actually, I don't even know. It's such a small amount of money. I'd just be interested to see here. But I definitely do lean under still, and I'll write it down and see if I get back
yeah,
to it.
it was 8.5. Yeah, it just recently moved to 8. Like I'm gonna say, at around 10 o'clock, I've seen some 8.5s, 10 a.m., 10:15. So it just recently moved down about 10:30 to 8.
Yeah, and like I said, there's a shitload of money on the over. There's only 14% of money on the under, and it's moved down. So I'm gonna, you know what, Ragu, I'm gonna take it
Yeah.
here. It's a very interesting one. Under 8, even money here for me. First official play, yet again. So it'd be fun. All right, let's move on here. Next game on our slate, and again, apologies for the no graphics. That is what happens sometimes. Let's move on to Kansas City Royals versus the Baltimore Orioles here. Carlos Hernandez getting the opener role here, and it seems like what's his name, Mike Mayers, is going to get the full workload here. We'll see how that operates. Kyle Gibson on the mound for the other guys. -160, over 9 here for the Orioles and Royals. I mean, again, this is another spot where it just seems like you just take Orioles first 5, whatever. However, the market is very interesting on this one, and it does make me lean towards the Royals. And quite honestly,
Mhm.
20% of the bets on the Royals, but 75% of the money on the Kansas City Royals here. Line has not moved much. 80% of the tickets and 25% of the cash on the Orioles. Um, I lean Royals here, but I guess I'm too safe to make the bet here. I want really nothing to do with the Royals typically. Last 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks against righties, they're 21st, 90 weighted runs created plus. So it's okay, but not enough for me to try to fade Kyle Gibson, who's been pretty good. So I ultimately pass here as well. Rocco Rogers saying it bet Royals bullpen day with a Mike Mayers on the bump. Nope, it's always -1 all day. Yeah, just a backwoods, as BJ's was saying. I just ultimately nothing to do with this one.
I think if you look at Gibson's numbers versus the Royals, though, they've had some success against him. And it's not a spot that I would say, do I trust the Royals to kind of get the job done and come away with the victory? Not 100%, but a little pricey for my liking. Like I said, I've been big O's fan, for a long time. Especially on the run line, and they're still one of the top run line producers, but they're not tops this year. I think the Rangers are tops in the league right now because of all the runs they've been scoring. But this is a spot here, I think a sneaky good over. If you look at the way the numbers kind of jumped up on the total here, I think that's an indication of what's going to happen. So I'm still not afraid to get to the window here with this over here. I think I've seen some 9s, 9.5s in some spots. We're opened up at 8.5. So I bet at 9 at -120. So I already got that in. I've seen some 9.5s crept up already. So I think a sneaky good over here is in play with I know Gibson's solid, but KC has some tendencies, and I think they can hit Hernandez too. So the O's will hit him. So I see some double digits in my book here. I think we'll see 10 runs plus in this game.
That's interesting. You like the over here, but there's just gigantic bets on the under, it seems. 47% of the bets, 88% of the money on the under. And like you said, it's gone up.
Yeah.
And it seems like the books are just telling people, bet the under here. Yeah.
Right.
You want an 8.5? We'll give you a 9.
Right.
The under 9. How about a 9.5?
Right, exactly.
So yeah.
Now, I bet it early. I'm in at 9 on this one. So
I like the over.
they're showing the it's a reverse line move in my book. So I think they're begging to, like you said, to bet the under here. I like the over.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So I'd bet over here as well. No play for me, but that reverse line movement, and then people or the books telling people, yeah, come on, just keep betting the under. 9.5? Sure. So that's very interesting. So keep an eye out on that one, guys. Next game on our slate here as we keep moving along. Shout out to everyone watching. Again, apologies for the graphics, but we move on. Dodgers, Phillies, Caleb Ferguson versus Taiwan Walker here. Unfortunately, this was just another easy pass for me.
Yeah.
I wanted really nothing to do with this series to begin with because the Phillies have been playing pretty well. And shout to them. I thought they would be a fine baseball team this year, but they've been pretty good. But the Dodgers are the Dodgers, and ultimately fading the Dodgers at any point right now is kind of scary. They did win yesterday. And by the way, just for those keeping track at home, the Dodgers are 2.5 games back of the Arizona Diamondbacks right now in their division, which is shocking to say. But yeah, I ultimately I had nothing on this one too, Ragu. I don't trust Taiwan Walker. Caleb Ferguson's not someone I trust. Rocco liking runs here over 10 minus 105 for him. Andrew G, I like the under on the Cleveland Astros game. I don't know if I'm going to take it yet officially, but it's written down on my sheet here, and I think I probably will end up making it official, but I want to wait to the end of the show and see how many plays we end up getting. So I do like that under a lot, Andrew G. But yeah, Rugu, it seems like this is an over spot here. Tickets wise, real quick before I pass it to you.
Yeah.
A lot of love for the Dodgers. 55% of the bets, 71% of the money on Los Doyers here, and total wise here. A lot and over love here. 63% of the bets and 97% of the cash on the over. So everyone knows me. I don't want to be on a spot with that much money on it.
Yeah.
So I pass.
Couple bets on the over for sure.
Yeah, at the very least, if you're betting the over like Rocco, you can take solace is that the line just keeps going up and up and up. So it's obviously that the books are worried about it. So I ultimately passed here.
I don't hate that look, but just the numbers kind of got away. I think on the I think it's a big number for a game. I mean, we know the Dodgers smash. We know Phillies have the capabilities to smash near, but early on, I didn't see a number on the. I didn't know who was going for the Dodgers, so I kind of skipped this game. I figured I'd come back to it, but now that all that the look with the total here, it's going to put me off the game. With the stronger bets and the bigger number, so I'm just going to pass. I put a lot of work into other stuff, so this is a pass spot for me.
Yeah, agreed here. Pass spot. And by the way, good note, Andrew G. He's just checking no Altuve, no Jose Ramirez today for the Guardians. No Jose Ramirez is big time. So Andrew G, thank you for that note. I'll make the under 8 official even money. So I will stick there. And shout out to you there, Andrew G. Don't think there will be a lot of offense without those dudes in as well. Next game on our slate here. Appreciate everyone for joining us as always. Another kind of a shit bum game. Nationals, Braves, Trevor Williams versus Bryce Elder. I hope Trevor Williams gets his tits ripped here. I have nothing on this game. It's a minus 280, so everyone can kind of know where this game is heading. I don't really know if tickets and money are really worth mentioning on this game because of how big the line is. But unsurprisingly, there's bigger bets on the Nationals because who wants to take the minus 280 Braves? 87% of the bets, 41% of the money on the Braves, 13% of the bets, and 59% of the money on the Nationals here. So, you're not betting the Braves here just because of their inflated price. So I guess it's Nationals. Totals wise here, 50-50 ticket split, but 64% of the money on the over here, and just cannot get around this game. So I passed.
Yeah. This is Elder. We know he's solid. 4-0, 2.26. Williams numbers a little sneaky. If you peel him back a little bit versus the Braves, his numbers are not bad. He's 1-1 with a 3.28. So I definitely didn't want to lay the big number, and I don't really trust the Nats bats to kind of hit up Elder here in this spot. But the one spot I was looking at was possibly I did find in my book, I found a little bit of a value on the first 5 under. I thought at 5.5 at -102 at FanDuel. So I put that bet in already. So I think Williams could kind of throw a good first couple innings against the Braves, even though the Braves, as dangerous as the Braves are, with the big numbers. I just think I find value in the first 5 under here with Williams. Like I said, I think Williams could have a good effort out early on, and who knows what happens late with the Nats and the bullpen and everything. But is it going to be like a 2-0 type game? Probably not. I probably sweat that game the first 5, but I think even if it goes 4-1, I still cash it. You know what I mean? So I think Williams can hold the Braves down under 5 runs, and Elder can do his job. So I like 5.5 under first 5.
That's a big number. It's a gigantic number too. So I don't hate it at all there. But I pass this game very easily. Thankfully, nothing to do with this game. Let's move on here, Ragu. Again, I appreciate you for joining me, Ragu,
Absolutely, brother.
on this fast-paced game as well, fast-paced day. Mets, Pirates, and shout out to the Mets. Let's give them a round of applause. They snapped their 7-game losing streak. It's quite funny. I saw on ESPN it was like longest losing streak since 2019. I was like, well, that's not that long ago. I mean, if it was the Mets, like normally it would be like longest losing streak since last year. I was like, wow, 2019. That's not that long ago, but it's pretty impressive for the Mets. They've gotten a little bit. So shout out to the Mets. But they face Mitch Keller today versus Carlos Carrasco, and we all know how we feel about Helen Mitch Keller around these parts. She's looking fantastic as always, and just pitched well. What can we say about Mitch Keller? It's been shocking to see. I didn't expect him to take this big of a leap, but his last 3 starts have been bad, Ragu. And is he hitting a wall? Is he, what's wrong with Mitch Keller? We'll find out here soon, but not trustworthy for me, unfortunately. Like I said, he started off the season super hot. Was pitching the best he ever had in his career, but last 3 games we'll talk about. Oakland, 5 1/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs there. Almost as a -300 favorite, they lose against Oakland. 6 innings, 10 hits, 4 earned runs against the San Francisco Giants, and 6 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs against the Seattle Mariners as well. And it's not like those teams are very good. So honestly, I lean Mets here. I ultimately pass this game too. I'd love to hear what Andrew G is saying here. I want to know what our guy Dommy Gun thinks about this game. But yeah, this was another easy pass here for me, unfortunately. I -135. I could semi see why you take the Pirates here, but honestly, I think there's value on the Mets, and I'll be very interested to see. Shout out to Justin McElvey, Stacks Pod, McCutcheon over 1.5 bases. And by the way, he's 1 hit away from hitting 2,000 hits. And he'll be like the 8th active MLB player right now to hit 2,000 hits. So I don't hate that. He's definitely incentivized today. Shout out to AOD joining as well. Appreciate you. I do apparently have a halo on my head. I don't know. This lighting today. But yeah, nothing here for me.
The Angels looking out for you after last night, brother.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I needed them. Needed them last night. Money-wise here, market-wise, real quick before I pass it over to Ragu. 65% of the bets, 73% of the money on the under here. So shout out to that. And bigger bets, obviously, coming in on the Pirates. 74% of the bets and 93% of the money on the Pittsburgh Pirates here.
Wow, those are big, huge numbers. Big numbers.
And admittedly, like I said, I lead Mets. I think the Mets could win this game.
You're saying that a lot of shot money on the under too, huh? That's surprising.
Yeah,
what do you think? Carrasco is going to have a game today, or Keller's going to kind of straighten his act out and kind of right the ship for his. But you know what? One thing I can say these Pirates do when Keller pitches, they win fucking ball games.
That's true.
They do win ball games, and they win by margin too. So if you go back and check all the games that Helen has pitched, they've been pretty solid. And when they've lost, big too. So it's either one way or the other. When Keller's on the bump for Pittsburgh here, and if you're going to back the Pirates, there's only one way to play it today. That would have to be on the run line in my book. And I think the Met struggles. They have had the struggles, but like you said, the last few outings for Keller, not the best. But even so, they've managed to come back and cover those numbers up. With to back them. So that's like Cookie did last year with the Mets. Every time he got out there, he'd have big ERA numbers and but the Mets would score runs in bunches, and they would cover games for him. So I think Keller's in that same spot here. So I like Pittsburgh here. I like Pittsburgh on the run line. I bet at FanDuel plus 158 minus 1.5.
Shout out to Dami Gunn, who right on cue joins us here. Told us about Mets team.
I got to go against Dami Gunn's Mets today. Sorry, Dami.
Shout out to you, Dami. Let us know what you think in the chat. I lean Mets in this game, but I passed here. Nothing really I was interested in here. Cookie's pitched well, but I still have trust issues with him. And like Andrew G is saying here, no Alonso. Mets lineup is kind of weak here as well. But Dami Gunn, unafraid, took Mets team total over 4 today at minus 120 there. So shout out to you.
I don't hate that either.
Dami. All right, let's move on here. And I keep acting like there's graphics, but there's not. Let's move on here to Minnesota Twins, Toronto Blue Jays. Louis Varland versus Kevin Gausman here. And I always find a lot of difficulty with Kevin Gausman starts. He gets lined around like minus 200 seemingly like every time when he's facing a okay to bad team. Twins are fine, and I ultimately do trust the Twins, and I like Louis Varland, and that's probably why you see a total at 7.5 here, which is super low especially for the Toronto Blue Jays here. I'm looking at Louis Varland's last few starts, and his last start was his worst start of the season by far. 6 innings, 6 hits, 7 earned runs against the Tampa Bay Rays. So I just, I typically would like to back a pitcher coming off a shit start like that. I like Louis Varland. Gausman's very good as well, and he's stepping up for the Blue Jays as well, especially since Manoah's gone. He's their best pitcher by far, and it's not particularly close. Again, it's just another easy pass. Shout out to Rocco Rogers. I do like those. The thing I've seen people like Rocco do recently, Ragu, is those big favorites. They'll take the pitcher to get the win, and they get much better odds. Like, for example, people were in the chat were just saying the same thing for Zach Gallen earlier in the show. Zach Gallen to record the win, which that game starts in 5 minutes here. So shout out to you guys if you got anything on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rocco Rogers liking Gausman to get the win, minus 115 and over 7.5 strikeouts there as well. So I passed. I'll be interested. What do you think here, Ragu?
I know this fucking Toronto has destroyed me this year every time I bet on them or with or against them. So this
is your Cardinals this year?
They're my new Cardinals, right? Exactly. They are my new Cardinals this year. So do I have a vengeance to say, hey, fuck you, Toronto, I want to take the Twins at a plus price? Yes, I do, in a way. But then, sure enough, guess what'll happen? They'll come back and bite me in the ass. So they've been my fucking kryptonite this year. So you know what? Why stop a good thing? Get involved with the Jays game somehow. And I think, like you said, I agree with you. I think Varland, I'm not going to say it's an aberration last game, but he's solid. And I get a pretty decent number with the Twinkies here. So I'm going to roll the dice with the Twinkies just so I don't feel as bad. I maybe try to get some of my money back that the Jays have cost me this year, on the plus side. So I'm going to back the Twinkies at plus 180.
Wow, old Twinkies love. Craig Wood mentioning that Minnesota hits Gausman hard. Again, if I'm picking a side, it's absolutely the Twins here. I agree with that. 88 plate appearances only for Gausman. Christian Vasquez has seen him a shitload, hasn't done shit with him. Michael A. Taylor, 375. And
yeah, he's hitting like he's 1-4. Gausman's like 1-4 versus the Twins at like with a 580, just below 6 ERA and 10 starts. So, the numbers are there to support that too.
Yeah, no, I like that look, Ragu. I like that look a lot. Market-wise, real quick before we move on here, total first here, 50-50 ticket split here. But as you guys could probably guess, a lot of money on the under here. Like I said, 49% of the tickets on the under, 85% of the money on the under. So just big bets on the under here, thinking that both these pitchers can shove. And I would agree with you. Under, but I nothing here from me as well. I'll be watching this game though because I do think that this is going to be a good ball game, to say the least. Shout out to Brad Summersell, who likes Rangers, Rays, full game over 8.5. Shout out to you, my man. We will talk about that game here right now. Rangers, Rays. Martin Perez versus Shane McClanahan here. A great pitching matchup. I was pretty shocked to see how high the line was for Drew. I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
I think my little hypothesis for this game is that line is high for a very good reason. Just like the line was high earlier in the series with was Heaney or was it? I don't remember who it was with against Glass now. But Glass now pitches well, and the other guy got crushed, and the Rays were minus like 200 or whatever. Kind of the market's kind of telling you like, yeah, this is a Rays spot. We don't want you guys to bet it really. Now minus 190 for Shane McClanahan, 8.5 the total. Seeing a lot of love for the over, as we mentioned. Brad Summersell liking the over, and we've got a little bit of Rays team total action from the chat as well. MLB spreadsheet play of the day. By the way, Toronto Blue Jays -1. So shout out to Ron Crawford here. Spreadsheet play of the day. Shout out to Ron.
Ron basically sealed my fucking fate on that game. Thanks a lot, Ron. I still love you, brother.
It's hilarious. I'm gonna watch that game thinking about you all day, Ragu.
Oh shit.
Troy liking the team total over. Flushes TV liking the team total over. Viper MB on the Rays and Blue Jays today. Troy also mentioning when the Rays are at home, the total moves to the over. 5-1 to the over, and Rays team total is 6-0 there. Shout out to the Rons in the chat, Lofton and Crawford. I mean, what can we say about this game, Ragu? It's a gigantic spread for a reason, and these are both the offenses that everyone's been backing or scared to fade all year. You know, against lefties, last 2 weeks, Texas third best, 153 weighted runs created plus. Not surprising there. Tampa Bay is actually third to last 3 weeks almost. 48 weighted runs created plus 69 plate appearances. So a really, really small sample size. One that I won't really trust as much because full season the Rays are first against lefties, 150 weighted runs created plus. We saw what he did, or what the who was it? Fuck me, who was it? It was the Cardinals, because the Cardinals against lefties full season were worse, but the last 2 weeks they've been just abysmal, and they got they didn't. They got crushed by Andrew Abbott. Now that I'm thinking about it, so very interesting, I guess. I'll keep that in mind. I don't know. It's gonna be a tough game.
That's what happens in the MLB, man. You catch those little, peaks and valleys, and
especially
come out of the valley. That's the thing, But overall, like you said, the averages. But you try to catch. That's where you try to find your little value plays there. But I mean, this game here, you got winner versus winner, right? You got the top 2 run producing teams in the league, so that bodes well for the over if you like the over, I guess. But the only thing is, McClanahan, he's a beast, and Perez. Like when I first looked at this, I'm like, hey man, that's a pretty damn good price to get Perez at, versus McClanahan, which we all know what a beast he is. But just there have been if there's any type of aberration, it is in his numbers versus the Rays, like 7.78 ERA, 3-4 lifetime. But last time they played him, they won 2-0 with Perez. So what are we going to get here? So I could, this is one I'm going to watch this game. This is going to be the game I'm watching today. I'm going to pass on it. I can't make my mind up. I'm sold on McClanahan. The question mark is Perez. And Perez, like I say, last time versus them had a pretty decent outing. So I would, you could say you can lean towards the under too based on Perez's last time, or you could say, hey, these two offenses are going to light it up. One of them faults, the other team's going to take off. It's going to be like a 5-2, 5-3 type game possibly, or maybe we see a 2-1 gem, pitching gem both ways. But I don't know. I'm going to stay off and try to enjoy this one.
Yeah, and I cashed Rangers first five yesterday, so I kind of want to stay off this game too. For you guys betting the over team totals for the Rays here, I'll tell you market wise, 65% of the money and 65% of tickets and 78% of the money on the Rays here, or on the over, excuse me. Sorry, 65% of the tickets and 78% of the money on the over. So there we go there. On the sidewise, real quick. The exact opposite story, actually. And it kind of makes sense line wise. You don't want to take the big favorite, obviously, but 38% of the bets and 92% of the money on the Rangers here. And that again, that makes sense to me. One of the better teams in baseball this year at a big plus money price. It gets people in. I get it. That's kind of why I think the Rays are going to win today. The book's trying to soak everyone into that Rangers plus money spot and then just snap them up. So, yeah, another pass here for me, unfortunately. And again, I figured today would be a lot of passes for me. So, I'm not too heartbroken about all these, but I would like to have some action. That would be nice. But let's move on here, Ragu, because there's another good game here. Let's get to the 1:00 slates. Marlins, White Sox. This series has just been under all day. Shout out to Noli knows, I'm sure, has been cashing on these unders. Here we got Braxton Garrett versus Lucas Giolito. Not as sexy of a pitching matchup, I'll tell you that. But I still think he can go under here. I will admit, Ragu, Braxton Garrett has been good to okay this year, and the White Sox are just not good against lefties anymore, really. 14th, 104 weighted runs created plus full season against lefties for the White Sox. Last couple of weeks, 112 plate appearances, 108 weighted runs created plus, 13th best. So it's okay, but people are killing lefties this year. So you would expect a team that historically has hit lefties so well for the White Sox in the last 3 years to do better. They're not. 50-50 ticket split and 84% of the money on the White Sox, though. Again, Actions had this line at minus 130. And now it's a best line minus 111, which I don't believe that. Our friends at let me see here. Our friends at Bet Online, or excuse me, Bovada have it at minus 120. So it seems like we might have a little bit of reverse line movement on the White Sox here. Everyone betting the White Sox and the line going towards the Marlins, but I passed here. Mally Mal saying under 6-0 last 6 meetings. I probably just take the under here if I'm betting anything like Mally Mal saying. Shout out to Mally Mal. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you in the chat, my man. Hope everything is getting better in your world, my man. But yeah, under here or nothing.
Yeah, well, I know Jimmy loves Garrett, and I kind of like him too. But the funny thing is, with his numbers, he's actually a little bit better on the road than he is at home with his splits. And if you go back, but his numbers, his ERA is a little different on the road. It's stronger. It's in the 2s. And then when you look at his K props, and I'm not a big prop guy, as you know, but I do get involved with him on occasion. I mean, he's thrown like 30 innings. He's averaging like one K per inning, on the road and at home too. But like I say, the ERA numbers a little better, a little stronger on the road. So I kind of lean towards that under. They have his prop number, and I think we get 5 out of him. I think maybe 6, but we'll get a strong 5 out of both pitchers. Both these guys' numbers are real similar with the K prop. So FanDuel had him listed at like 4.5 Ks at minus 118. I think we see that from him with this, like you said, with the White Sox struggles versus lefty and his averaging like 1 K per inning. I think we'll see at least 5, maybe 6 innings out of him. I think we get there with that. So I'm going to lean on Garrett. It's K prop here, 4.5 at FanDuel minus 118.
All right, beautiful K prop there for Ragu. By the way, I forgot to mention some of the weather factors and that stuff. So I'll go back and say, for those of you guys who like the Dodgers Phillies over, you have 11 mile an hour winds blowing straight out to center field. So that will help you guys a ton there. And let me go to this game because this game also has some strong winds. 11, 12, 13 mile an hour winds blowing out to right field in this game as well. It is kind of, like I said, blowing towards right field, so maybe it'll hook balls.
What about the White Sox game?
Yes, the White Sox game in Chicago here, windy. So I probably pass here. The total here and the under makes me nervous now because of that win, but I still lean that way. So nothing here for me. Ragu, I'm excited to hear your take on this next game here. The Milwaukee Brewers versus the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's, who have now won 4 straight games, I believe. Double checking now. They have won.
Won a total of 16 games all season.
Yep. They've won 4 games now, 16 all season. So shout out to the A's. We cashed on them big yesterday, first 5 and first 5 plus a half. A timely run for the A's. The top of the 5th was really great. But when you bet the A's, the next day, I have just zero desire to bet them. It's like you escape with your money and just like, all right, I don't have to bet this team for another 5 days now until Paul Blackburn comes back on the bump. I really don't trust them here, especially on a spot where they can get the sweep. Freddie Peralta on the bump, very good. JP Sears as a lefty, so we all know that he probably will pitch well against the Brewers here. But here the cash wise here for both side and total, only 10% of the bets on the Oakland A's today. 28% of the money, 72% of the money, 90% of the bets on the Brewers here. So a lot of Brewers love here, obviously, total wise. And I don't know why people are betting this over. This game screams under to me. 22% of the bets on the under, but bigger money, 49% of the money on the under there. So that makes me feel better about betting the under there for sure. 78% and only 50% of the money on the over. Oh no, I got that backwards. Excuse me. 78% of the money on the under and 50% of the bets on the under. So bigger bets on the over here. So yeah, that will actually keep me off of betting the under there. So I have really nothing on this game. The A's, again, they treated me well last night. So I'm like, I like
Take the money and run.
Yeah, that's exactly one of those situations. Take the money, run away, and come back when Paul Blackburn comes back in the next 5 days.
Yeah, it's crazy. This team has won 1 out of the first 17 series that they played, but they've won the last 3 out of 4 now. So take that for what it's worth. But how do we do we really want to lay the 220 with Peralta? Or there's some form of fashion? Probably not, right? And we know their struggles with the lefty. So the one positive here is, the A's have scored some runs of late, and I think we can get a buy on cheap. Even though Peralta is nice, I'll stay with the streak with the A's, not to win, but to score a few runs here, and they only have to put 3 up on the board. So I think they can do that. Does Peralta shut them down? He possibly can, but I'm gonna play into the streak a little bit. What they have going on. I'm gonna take the A's to score 3 runs or better at -115 at FanDuel.
So you have A's 3.5 basically.
No, I've got the A's over 3.
Over 3.
I could have got a plus price at 3.5, but he says, you know what? Let me lay the little bit of juice with the A's here, and if they get 3, I push. If they score better, I cash. So I'll take the A's -115 over 3 runs.
Okay. Shout out to you there, Ragu. I'm off, as no one will be surprised to hear the show. Like I said, I lean under, but the bigger bets coming out on the over is a little worrisome there. But we'll see how that game operates. Like I said, I lean under for sure.
Yeah, that plays in. I'm happy to hear the bigger bets are on the over, so that means the A's have a shot to score a couple runs here.
Yeah, I would rather for you, Ragu. I'd rather have that low vol or higher volatility with the A's. Yeah. For sure. And by the way, Milwaukee's still shit against lefties. Last 2 weeks, they're 20th, 98 weighted runs created plus, or they're about average. Last for just a full season, second to last, 75 weighted runs created plus. So any lefty against Milwaukee, I feel semi-confident in. So shout out to them. Next game on our slate here, Ragu. And again, shout out to everyone joining us. We appreciate all you guys for coming and watching the program, even though it's not at its peak form. We appreciate you guys nonetheless. Hunter Green versus Adam Wainwright, Reds Cardinals, and I actually have an official play here for everyone. Debbie Cab actually texted me this, and Debbie Cab almost got the timeout for a comment he put in there. I was very close to giving him the 5-minute suspension. So shout out to Debbie Cab. But I'll be on the Reds team total here. We talked about it yesterday, how we both liked it, and I was like, not on it. Of course, they come through and dominate. I like the Reds team total over here. 3.5 at -125. I got it. I think he got a 4. Adam Wainwright, we all kind of know what he is, a little washed up, et cetera, et cetera. Am I again concerned that Adam Wainwright is going to do a bunch of old man shit and pitch well against the Reds? Yes, because we saw Clayton Kershaw do this. We both know that both these guys love their curveballs. So I'll be interested. But I like the Reds here, team total over 3.5. Rocco Rogers, by the way, likes Reds team total over 3.5 and Reds money line. Robert Franklin on Reds money line. Shout out to Joe Yurkovich is on the A's again. So shout out to you there, A's. And Tori Coker likes Oakland or no bet for him there. Yeah, I'm on the Reds. Ragu, what do you think?
Interesting. Hunter Green, last 2 starts, 1 run, right? 2 hits in 12 innings. Fucking kid's throwing the ball. But his record, 1-4, 3.92. Wainwright, the old man, 2-1 with a 5.97. So he's got a lot of vulnerability to give up some hits and runs here. But did you look at the splits on the money coming in on the Reds for the money line?
I'll tell you them right now because they are shocking, Ragu. It's quite funny actually, and it's not my favorite spot to be on. That's why I took their team total. 76% of the bets on the Reds, 98% of the money on the Reds.
Yeah, that's friggin' nuts. That is crazy. But yeah, I passed on this game. I don't hate that look. I mean, I kind of like that look with the team total. I just don't want to catch the ass end of a rocket. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel
I
that.
want to get burned on that side of things. But I'm off the game. I'm passing. But I thought those numbers were really, really, really interesting on the Reds. With the money line. But it's a pass for me. But I don't hate your look on the team total, you and Dabby.
No, I'll tell you, my look on this team total is becoming a least favorite of mine as we go. I'll tell you, 55% of the tickets on the over here, Ragu, only 20% of the money on the over in this game, and the line and it's gone down seemingly too. Let me double check here. That's an 8 now. It was 8.5.
Yeah, well, I just told you what Hunter Green did. What do you think? The old man's going to throw a decent spot here, and the Reds are not going to hit him?
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like, and I'm a little worried about that. 80% of the money on the under here, 45% of tickets. That's a sign. So I don't feel the best about my team total over. So let's see. I will. I'll keep it on the card. Unfortunately, I've already bet it, so we'll move on. But I'm a little trepidatious there now. But shout out to them and the Reds. I'll be interested to watch how that 98% spot works out for them. Let's go on to our next game here, Ragu. That was a good game, but let's talk about a shit game. And again, we have 4 games left on the card. We appreciate everyone for sticking around. No graphics and all. Thank you guys as always. Padres, Rockies, Blake Snell versus Dinelson Lamet facing his old squad, which I was interested in. I don't trust Lamet. I thought that he would be like a decent pitcher, especially when he was on the Padres. I thought he would be good, but he's not very good. He started twice. He's given up 3 earned runs in 3 innings and 6 hits. His first start was 3 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. I just really, again, want nothing to do with Dinelson Lamet. And Blake Snell is, pitching better. What can we say? He's had a shitty start to his season, but he's pitching better for sure. Blake Snell last 2 starts, shutouts, 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs at Miami. At the Cubs, 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs there. And the Rockies are just horrible against lefties. Second to last 2 weeks in 119 plate appearances, 45 weighted runs created plus. So, yeah, I mean, this is a Blake Snell Padres spot, but I just, again, don't want anything to do with the Padres, really. I don't trust them at all. So I ultimately pass in this game, too.
Yeah, they're up and down. I mean, I cashed. I had Freeland yesterday, first 5 plus 120. I cashed that, but then they wind up losing in a lower scoring game, right? 2-1 or whatever the hell the number was. It was a real low scoring game for a total that was like 12 and a half. And we're back at a big number here, right? We're looking at what, another 12 and a half here, or 11. So the numbers kind of crept down a little bit on this spot here. So I think this is a Padres smash spot on a fade of Lamet. Just basically, I know it's got a big team total hanging like 6.5. Somebody's got to put runs on the board for the number to be 12 runs. But what do you get out of Snell here? Do we back the Pods on the run line? Is it a smash spot for them to kind of cover the run line here? Possibly. That would probably be my only other look, but I think the Padres smash Lamet here. I really do. I mean, even though you can't trust them, I think this is a spot where they kind of wake up and bounce back to the middle here for putting some runs up here. Unless you just don't think they're going to do it, then maybe that under makes sense. Maybe that's why the numbers kind of crept down a little bit too. So I don't know. I have a lean here. I don't have a solid play, but I would lean the run lines on the Padres.
Shout out to Dami. Appreciate you, my man. And like BJ is saying, Dami, let us know what you're on today. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying, Ragu. And the market's very interested in this game, too. Obviously, 69% of the bets, 70% of the money on the under. So obviously gone from 12 to 11.5. So that makes you feel a little better there. Sidewise here. And again, this is probably just a result of the big favorites, but 32% of the tickets, 84% of the money on the Rockies. So, and again, who wants to lay, a big price or with the Padres here? So I had nothing to do here. Honestly, I wanted just a pass game here. And I think Craig Wood mentioning that this could be a rain game here as well. And then, by the way, so can Atlanta, Washington. Shout out to BJ for mentioning that there's rain there. And by the way, there's actually rain in Seattle, or not Seattle, Cincinnati, St. Louis. 15. I need to double check this fucking weather. Is this serious? Is that RotoWire saying 15-mile-an-hour winds blowing in? And Swish is saying 11 to 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing sideways to first base. Man, I'm going to have to get off of my Reds bet.
Yeah, there's like 80% chance of rain, it says.
Yeah.
15-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah, so that sucks. I'm hoping that game gets canceled then. I will not be making Reds official then, I guess. That sucks. Because I do have money on it, but I am hoping that game gets canceled now because I hate that bet. And yeah, so hopefully that happens. So no action for me. I still have no action on this card then, Ragu. That's sickening. Actually, that's not true. Houston, Cleveland under 8. It's my one play so far. So yeah, like we mentioned again, the Padres should win here. They should win going away. And I like what Rance was saying as well. If I trusted Nelson Lamet a little more here, I probably would be on the under, but I don't trust him here. And shout out to Dami Gunn. I appreciate you dropping your plays in the chat again, my man. Thank you as always. Mets over, Astros over, Tampa Bay first 5 over, and the Yankees game under 8.5, and Toronto double result there. Shout out to you. All right, 2-1 Diamondbacks, by the way. That's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a little high scoring than I anticipated then. Let's move on. We've got 3 more games left, and I don't care about 2 of them, Ragu. I'll be honest with you. Cubs, Giants, John Barabia versus Hayden Wesneski, bullpen day. I assume excuse me. Thank you. Tristan Beck is apparently the primary. I thought it was going to be Sean Manaea, but I don't know where the hell that guy is nowadays. But Ragu, if last game was an easy pass for me, this game was an even easier pass for me. This is the West Coast ball games for me. This last weekend has just been nothing doing here. I was on the Cubs a lot earlier in the season, but they've tailed off. And I find betting bullpen days to be difficult, especially with the Giants. Another easy pass here for me, Ragu. But again, I'll mention the market here real quick. Another wild market here as well. 81% of bets and 93% of the money on the San Francisco Giants. Pretty wild there. Total wise, everyone betting the under.
Yeah, under makes sense.
Especially after last night, almost getting no hit. So shout out to Kyle Hendricks. 65% of bets and 80% of money on the under here. So interesting because, again, action has this opening at 8 and now at 8.5. So maybe a little reverse line movement there on the Cubs Giants game. Maybe I don't know.
I can see a 5-4 type of game out of this game here, possibly. But do I want to bet on it? Absolutely not. Just you got to show me something first. I know baseball's fickle. We talk every day about the numbers up and down, and but I don't know, just bullpen type game. Anything can happen. There's a lot of unpredictability. This is a game I want to know part of, especially with the offenses the way they're playing too. So I'm off of this game.
Agreed there, and we won't take too much time on it. But I'll say this again: apologies to the chat because this has just been a shit slate of baseball games that I've really had no desire in betting. It's just a lot of big favorites. Weather affecting some spots like the Cardinals red spot that I like. Market not really lining up. Just nothing that I really like here, Rigo, unfortunately, today. And I'll tell you, there's 1, 2. Oh, there's only 2. Okay, well, I'll count the Padres. 3, around minus 200 favorites. 4 with the Rays in there, minus 190. It's tough to bet, though. So nothing here for me. Second to last game on our slate here, Rigu. Logan Gilbert now getting the bump instead of Bryce Miller. For the Seattle Mariners versus Griffin Canning. I've struggled with this with both of these teams, and shout out to the market yesterday for leaning me towards the Mariners. That was the one bet I didn't make yesterday. I leaned Mariners, and they cashed pretty easily. Shout out to Brian Woo. Brian Woo! I can't do it as loud because I'm tired. Sorry, but he pitched well. The market's not really saying anything for this game. Again, 63% of bets, 84% of the money on the Seattle Mariners. I guess. I just, again, wanted nothing to do with this game here. I like Logan Gilbert, sure, but he's still susceptible to runs. So if anything I'm betting on this game, I'd actually lean over 9. Totals wise for the money, 27% of bets and only 11% of the money on the over. There, 89% of the money and 73% of the bets on the under. I just really wanted nothing to do with it, shockingly enough. So nothing here for me. We're good.
Yeah, these are 2 decent pitchers here. I think I would lean like first 5 under on this spot here a little bit. That would be a lean for me. I know Gilbert's probably had the better numbers, history wise versus the Angels. And Canning is a good pitcher. I like him a lot too. So I would lean. I haven't made this bet. I might, if I do anything, I'll tweet it out later. My Twitter account hasn't been as active as it normally has, but I will put these plays out today in Twitter, and then look for this game possibly later. I kind of lean first 5 under, and I lean Mariners also here in this spot here. So that's a game I might get involved with later. So look for it out on Twitter. Right now I'm going to pass, but like I say, hard lean to the first 5 under.
Yeah, this game just
I can get a 5 right now.
Sidewise, it feels like a coin flip to me. I like that 5 though. 4.5.
If it hangs at 5, I'll probably get involved with it. If I don't have to lay too much. Right now, you can get it's minus 120 at MGM. DraftKings is hanging a 4.5 at minus 130.
Okay.
Or excuse me, even money over 4.5 is 130.
I like that under 5.
Yeah, the 5 looks solid.
5 is a good number as always. And by the way, Jake Burns saying you should be good on the first 5 under. We know the Angels won't do any scoring. So shout out to you there, Jake Burns. Appreciate you. Yeah, these teams are just flawed, and I just don't want to back them. It's tough to back them. And Rant's saying perfectly, they're good on paper, but bad on the field. So no, I agree. All right, Ragu, let's get to the main event tonight. I'm sure the reason why the people are coming to this show. Red Sox, Yankees. We've cashed on the under twice now. thankfully. I was not, and shout out to the chat. I was going to be on the Red Sox yesterday. I wasn't. So appreciate you guys for getting me off of the Red Sox. And I only bet the under there and I cash it. We've got Domingo Herman versus, no, it's not Domingo. It's Clark Schmidt. It's Clark Schmidt versus Brian Bajo here. And Ragu, to the surprise of no one, I like the Red Sox here. I like the Red Sox money line. But more importantly, I'm going back to the well. Under 8.5, minus 110. I bet the under in all 3 games, or well, I guess I'm going to bet the under in all 3 games, cash the first 2. And I'll keep saying this. The Yankees without Aaron Judge are a horrible baseball team, especially offensively. They will not score runs. They'll scratch across some Yankee Stadium nonsense. Because, of course, Ragu, they hit 2 home runs last night, and one of them to take the lead would have only been a home run in Yankee Stadium, nowhere else. Very classic. So I even though the ballpark is a bandbox, even though these teams traditionally when they face, they go over, I'm going to take the under again here, under 8.5, minus 110. And I'd love to hear everyone's takes on the Red Sox or on the sidewise here. Everyone knows I don't like Clark Schmidt. Jimmy loves Clark Schmidt. That's the one difference of opinion we have there. I've cashed on his under last time as well. So I definitely appreciate that. But I just think the Red Sox come out here and win, and this game stays under. 50-50 ticket split, but 86% of the money on the Boston Red Sox there. So bigger bets on the Red Sox. And total-wise here, it's been kind of, I don't know. I don't remember actually how it was yesterday, but it felt like there was more money on the over in the last 2 days. But now this one is starting to catch up a little bit, it seems. 61% of the bets on the over, 54% of the money on the over here. So I'll stick with my 39%, 46% of the money on the under here. No problem. Under 8.5, minus 110, and might be making the Red Sox official. So let me know what you guys think.
I like that under look. I like it. There's not a lot of, it's not top line pitching, obviously, so it doesn't draw up the what would you call the underlook per se, with the better pitchers, but just not a lot of familiarity with both of these pitchers going up against the opposing squads here. Just especially Bello, he's gonna have a lot of looks versus the Yanks here, and then the makeshift line. I keep calling it makeshift, and I agree with you with Judge being out of lineup. That I brought that up to Dami yesterday, but he got the win with the Yanks yesterday. So who was Dami on the Yankees today too again?
Good question. I started his comment. Luckily, he's on the under. He's on the under.
He's on the under, yeah. So I mean, the under. I think the under is more solid than the side for me here. Just. Especially like a first 5 under too. So I lean that way. And I think normally we'd see like bigger numbers here with this lineup. So that's a telling sign too. Just not the top line pitching and a lower what I consider a lower number for this matchup. With these lineups. So definitely I would lean very hard on the under here. I haven't made an official play here, so this is another one, guys. Look for later action on Twitter for me to come out with it, so I have to put a little more thought into this game here. But right as of right now, definitely a first 5 under hard lean for me here.
Yeah, shout out to you, Ragu, and like you mentioned, follow Big Ragu on Twitter at Big Ragu62. There, I'm gonna double up on the under. I'm not gonna take the
game first 5.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take the Red Sox money line. I'll keep my emotions out of it, and I'll just take first 5 full game unders there. First 5 under 4.5, minus 105. Shout out to our friends on Bovada, and full game under 8.5, minus 110 there. Shout out to our friends at Bet Online. And again, I'll keep telling you guys this, but you guys need to know if you guys are looking for another book, you guys are interested looking around, my book doesn't give enough odds. My book locked me out for whatever reason. Go to Bet Online, go to our website, pubsportsradio.com. You'll see the Bet Online. You'll see the my bookie or whatever book you want to use on there, logos, and all you have to do is just click on it, and it'll take you to a little sign up page, and that'll let the books know that we sent you guys. It helps out the pub a lot, and you guys get a nice little deposit match as well. So it's be a good time there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, especially if you use those books. So we appreciate you as always. All right, Ragu. Let's recap our action. And I look like Noli knows with my card.
You got the Undercity.
Yeah, I look like Noli knows because we're both Hispanic men, and I look like Noli knows because my card right now here. Under 8.5 minus 110, and first 5 under 4.5, Boston, New York, and the under 8 in Cleveland at even money there. So shout out to Turnsey. He told me on I think it was Friday after I had a big day. He's like, if you get to the black by Monday, I'll buy you the best steak you've ever had. And in my head, I was like, I'm not going to get there because I'm trying not to push all my bets. But I guess I'm for sure not getting that steak now, unfortunately, from Turnsey. Only 3 plays today, but shout out to my man Turnsey, who I love and appreciate. Ragu, what do you want?
All right. I'm not Noli knows because I got I got 2 unders and 2 overs and 1 under, but I'll break it down. I'm over on the KC Baltimore game, 9 runs. I'm on the under. This is my 1 under play today. First 5 under 5.5 minus 102. Braves Nats. I'm on the Buccos minus the 1.5 run on the run line plus 158. I'm on the Twinkies plus 180. I'm on Garrett K prop over 4.5 at minus 118. And the streaking A's, baby. We're going for trying to sweep, a rare sweep for them. But I'm not taking them to win, but I hope they win. I'm on over 3 runs minus 115 A's. And then look for the leans that I have were the last 2, the M's and the under and the Boston Yankee game later on tonight.
That's hilarious. Shout out to you there, Ragu. Love the action. Love the A's bet there. Jake Burns asking if I'm not back in Helen Mitch Keller. I am not. Jake, look at Helen's last couple of starts. Got touched up in the last few, so I'm a little worried about her. And
don't worry, they win. They win when Helen's on the bump. It don't matter.
They do.
What the number is, they cover.
They score runs for Helen.
They score runs. Raise the flag, as you would say.
Exactly. Thank you. 73% of bets and 93% of the money on the Pirates there as well. So there's your note. There's your note, and more money on the under in that game too. 74% of bets and 77% of the bets on the under. So there's your little quick recap there. Jake Burns of why I'm not on it. Very interesting though. And by the way, shout out to Ricky Bobby. I was saying Rick J. I don't know why, but shout out to, I saw Rick J's name, I guess, up and above. But Ricky Bobby there likes Bobby Witt home run. Rocco likes A's first 5 there too. Have not lost a series. So shout out to you, my man. And shout out to everyone watching the program. I know this is a little bit of a disjointed show. No graphics. I know people love the graphics, but we appreciate
They're not here for the graphics, man. They're here for the entertainment and the winners.
You're right. When you're right about that, you're right. And they're here for you, Ragu. You're the master here. We appreciate all you guys for watching. Ragu, what are you up to here coming up?
Coming up, I'm going to be with Jimmy on Wednesday, I believe. On Pub. I do every other week with him. And, I appreciate the invite. Anytime you need somebody to fill in on a Sunday, man, if I'm available, I'm right here with you, brother. And then whatever the Who Bang, Dommy's got, look for some lighted up shows with Dommy. And then, I'm here and there, man, weaving and bobbing, kicking and jiving.
That's very great. Ragu, shout to Nasty Nate here joining us as well. Appreciate my man Nasty Nate, Red Sox smash. I fucking hope so. I'm on the unders in the game, Nasty Nate.
Wait a minute, Nasty Nate's on the Boston team? That's a fucking shock.
Yeah, I know, right? Shout out to you, Nasty Nate, my guy. I love it. Appreciate all you guys. Alfred, Andrew, Nate, Mally Mallon here. We appreciate you. Mally especially. Rocco, Jake Burns, Ricky, EQ, aka Equanimous, Rick J, Joey Harb in here as well. Brian Watson, Brad Summersell, BJ, Nathan Cerna. All you guys, rants. Appreciate you guys as always. We are going to be back here again tomorrow, Monday, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Another edition of Say Hey Plays. I would love, again, my goal for the season, or my goal during my cold streak, was to get to even money, get to the black by the All-Star break, and that's still the goal. And I still believe But we're ahead of schedule, to say the least. So let's keep it rolling. I'm ready to rock and roll here. Ricky,
You're
by the way,
going, brother.
Ricky Bobby also, he meant Salvi Perez home run, not Bobby Witt. But shout out to you, my man. See you guys all tomorrow. It'll be a lot of fun. I love seeing you guys in the chat every day with me. We're good. The funny part about this is after last year, I told myself I'm not going to do a show every day. I am not going to do a show every day. And here I am. I'm doing a show every day.
You're good at it, man. Why shouldn't you do a show every day? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Keep doing what you're good at. And I knew, like Jimmy, I remember a couple weeks back, he says, I can see you coming out of the hole. And he was dead right on that, too. So shout out to him for giving you the good vibes on that.
Yeah, I needed it. I just needed a funny Ragu. Last Friday was like the official start of my hot streak. And the catalyst of it was Connor Mack yelling at me for my record. He's like, "We need to get this shit together."
There you go.
And I was like, "Yeah, you're right, Connor." And it seems like Ragu, I just do better when people yell at me.
Well, fucking get some winners and keep them coming, baby. Keep them coming.
Thank you, Ragu. Thank you, Mark, Ricky, all you guys, Rick, Brian, Nate. You guys are all what make this show special. Say hey to us on social media at Big Ragu 62, at Jose Bouquett on Twitter. We'll see you guys next time for another edition of Say Hey Plays.